It's time you and I have a very important talk. Might be an awkward discussion, but it's a very significant one in every person's life. The old birds and ETs. We need to discuss aliens a little more in depth because there's a lot of misinformation floating around about what I believe in when it comes to these beautiful cosmic bastards out there, and, well, I want to set the record straight. All of you know, my dad loves aliens. I'd argue he's one of the biggest alien enthusiasts in this country right now. And he's very passionate about this topic. So am I. I am also very passionate about aliens, but more so because I find a lot of the theories that pop up about aliens visiting us, and here's UFO footage, and it's just like this poorly photoshopped image of two colanders stacked on top of each other, wiggling around in 240p, and it's black and white and just blurry out the wazoo. They're like, no, it's real footage of a UFO flying around. Like, I laugh at that kind of stuff. Or like the alien bodies that keep being discovered. Like the fucking potato alien from 3 days ago, where people were convinced there was an alien in someone's garden because they had this like interdimensional cosmic abortion that just plopped into their garden. They're like, look, finally, irrefutable proof to convince all the doubters. We got an alien body. And it just looks like a shriveled up mushroom with nipples on it. Like, that does not look like an alien at all. And you also have to ask yourself the question, if an alien race is advanced enough to reach Earth, it means they've cracked faster than light travel, one, so they're already well beyond our comprehension technologically. How the fuck would they just crash land here and end up in someone's garden? Do they just come to Earth to die? Like, alright, we'll take the space cruiser out. I'm looking for a good place to just die. I'll choose Earth, and this one random person's garden seems like a nice spot. It just doesn't make sense. It's not like it's just going to be some freak accident where they crash into Earth and die, and our weaponry certainly wouldn't be effective against something that technologically advanced if they're able to visit us. It's just illogical. Like, that kind of stuff makes me laugh. So when it comes to aliens, I'm very passionate because the comical nature of it is unmatched, really. But I do still firmly believe there's alien life out there in the universe. It's too big for there not to be, in my opinion. I just firmly don't think they have ever visited Earth. Ever. My dad does not agree. We don't see eye to eye when it comes to aliens. My dad is a firm believer that aliens have not only visited our planet, but helped us evolve and advance, all the way back into ancient times. He is a big proponent of ancient aliens. And while I too am an enjoyer of ancient aliens, it's for an entirely different reason. It's because I think it is very entertaining because of how outlandish it is. Meanwhile, my father subscribes to the belief that Ancient Aliens is right on the money when it comes to, like, aliens building pyramids and Puma Punku and all of that kind of stuff. So I just want to set the record straight. I believe aliens are out there. I feel like you'd be a fool to think that we're alone in the universe. I just really have seen no compelling evidence that convinces me they've ever visited Earth in any way, shape, or form. But my dad very much disagrees. And he wants to do some kind of, like, panel where he tries to, like, really convince me of it. Like, he wants to put together, like, a video showcase of it, which I've encouraged him to do because I think it'd be amazing. But we haven't done that yet. I also went a little bit deeper on stream about, like, my dad's alien beliefs versus mine, so I'm just going to go ahead and play those clips. I just don't want there to be any more confusion, because I keep seeing people say that I don't believe in aliens or something, or on the other side of the spectrum, people saying that I believe aliens helped us build the pyramids and fucking blessed us with fiber optic internet or something, like all kinds of different things because wires are getting crossed here, because my dad talks about aliens so much, and I talk about my dad talking about aliens so much, and then everything just gets all, you know, confuddled into like this, you know, knowledge soup. So I just wanted to make it very clear here. But anyway, here's the stream clips that go a little more in depth. It's kind of already been cracked, but he just doesn't believe the official explanation because my dad, he's like an engineer, and he just really doesn't believe that people back then would be able to make these cuts on these blocks. And that's the thing he harps on a lot. He just really thinks people back then were stupid as fuck. He really does. He thinks not only were they stupid, they just didn't have tools to make cuts on stone. Well, at least cuts like this on stone. The H blocks. So how did they do it? According to my dad, the aliens did it for him. He doesn't have an explanation as to why. He just thinks the aliens came down here and just fucking started carving H on these blocks. He doesn't really have like a reason as to why. He just says, well, we can't know, they're smarter than us. And I'm like, damn, that's such an easy cop-out. If aliens did help make it, why the hell would they only use stone and not give early humans advanced metal or something similar? Are they stupid? That's what I said. Like, we're just, I'm basically just reliving like our arguments that we have back and forth, and they're not arguments, like they're good spirited. But like I always say, if the aliens did this, why? And he just says, well, we can't know, they're smarter than us. Okay. And then I say, if aliens did this, why are they still using primitive shit? You could have easily made this out of like metals or something. And usually what he'll say is they want that the aliens wanted to teach humans how to do it, to help them advance or something along those lines. And I'm like, if they wanted to do that, why didn't they leave any other messages or instructions? And he says they did. It's called the pyramids. They're perfectly aligned with Orion's belt. It's their message to us. And I say, what is that message? He's like, well, we don't know. They're smarter than us. We can't possibly know. And I'm like, well, it's a fucking very ineffective message then, isn't it? I used to watch Ancient Aliens back in the day, bro. The shit they come up with is hilarious. They unironically said the Bible story about Jonah being swallowed by a whale is false. He was actually abducted by an alien submarine. We talked about that yesterday. Yeah, my dad fully disavows 99% of Ancient Aliens, but really believes that they know their shit when it comes to the pyramids. And I guess Pumapunku by extension, because they covered that. They have a whole goddamn episode on, like, Sasquatch being an alien, or dropped off by aliens or something. I already forgot. Have you heard of the Intergalactic Federation? That's kind of part of the secret space program. They're adjacent. But yes, I am familiar. This even got referenced in 2020, if you guys remember this. Former Israeli space security chief says extraterrestrials exist and Trump knows about it. He said, a galactic federation has been waiting for humans to reach a stage where we will understand what space and spaceships are. So this kind of kicked that whole thing off. What's the most heated alien argument you had with your dad? I don't know. Heated's just not the right word, because it's always comical. Like, we're usually both giggling, but he's very passionate about it. So I guess he kind of gets heated. He'll start, like, really, like, raising his voice about it. He's like, Charlie, I built cars for fucking 50 years. I know engineering. The people back then didn't have the tools or the fucking brain power to build the pyramids. It's simple engineering, son. When are you gonna stop being so stupid? But, like, he's not being mean about it. He's just getting, like, really animated. Speaking of Ancient Aliens, remember that episode where they said giraffes used to have short necks? Blame it on the aliens? Or am I on crack? That sounds like Ancient Aliens. There was even a whole meme for a while that was passed around Reddit where they had Sukalos, who my dad fucking loves. Before I, like, watched more Ancient Aliens outside of the homework he assigned me with the Pyramids episode, my dad was like, Charlie, you gotta look at this guy. His name is Giorgio Sukalos. He knows his shit. And then it turns out he's the guy from all the memes where he does this and it just says, aliens. He's that guy. And I felt almost shame. I was like, Dad, no. Not Sukalos. This can't be your expert source. It can't be. And sure enough, it was. And Sukalos is like the worst offender of just blaming everything on aliens. So in the pyramid episode, I think it was Sukalos, there was like a speculation like, this pyramid didn't have a tomb in it. So then why was it the way that it was? And Sukalos comes in and said, well, it's because they were communicating directly with aliens in the intergalactic cosmos far, far away. And he's like, well, do you have a source for that? Like, that's quite a leap. Like, how do you know that? Sounds like he's just messing with you. Doesn't sound like he actually believes it. No. No, you couldn't be more wrong. Since I was a child, my dad has been on the aliens and pyramids. I remember being a baby boy, a toddler, and my dad would try and have these profound talks with me where he'd sit me down and be like, listen, son, it might not be this year, it might not be 10 years, it might not be 20 years, but one day, you're gonna see, we're gonna find out that the aliens built those fucking pyramids. We will learn that the aliens helped us advance in our primitive stages. I remember as far back as my brain will allow me that he has always been on that since day one. He's committed to the joke. It's not a joke to him, I'll tell you right now. He's even tonight he texted me. He's like, "So I see you talked about those stupid garden alien potato things or whatever." What did he say again? He say, "What's that new alien vid? Bunch of bullshit. You got to do one about Puma Punku." Love you. That was at 8:23. He is always on alien mode. You know what it is? I talked about this on stream. I'll mention it again. I think what happened is my dad, when he was a teenager, he always like believed that, like he just really, because my dad is, like I said, he does so much engineering and has his whole life. He just really can't wrap his head around people back then being able to make like sophisticated stuff like pyramids and fucking giant H's, I guess. And I think he probably for a while harbored this belief that it must have been the aliens because it's so advanced, but was probably more open-minded to it, like to being proven wrong, like, hey, no, that's not what happened and here's how they did it, which we have a lot of evidence to support a lot of theories on how these things were made. But what happened, what really cemented him in this way, is my dad's roommate was a U.S. Army lieutenant? No. Major? I think it was a major. I can't remember the order. But he was a pretty high-ranking like a person in the military, and he worked at a MacDill Air Force Base, which is a huge Air Force base in Tampa. And they were roommates for the longest time. Even like after leaving the military, they remained roommates, remained very close. And he was an alcoholic, unfortunately. Very sad set of circumstances. He was not in a good way. But my dad swears by this story that he was telling the truth. One day, his roommate came back, fucking blasted, per usual, and he told my dad that, that day on the base, they had recovered an alien corpse, and that MacDill Air Force Base had an alien body there. And my dad swears by it, fucking swears by it, that he wasn't being lied to. He was in his right mind enough to reveal that information. Like he's usually very tight-lipped. This isn't something he would normally do. It probably rattled him to the core. And I think that was the moment the switch was flipped in my dad's brain where it's like, okay, I'm right. The aliens are here and they've been here. I think that's what happened. When really, what I think happened is the guy had a lot of mental problems, alcohol abuse, a lot of terrible things. And I think it may have just been associated with that. I don't think they actually had a fucking alien body on the base. You gotta find that guy and see if he was telling the truth. Well, I need a Ouija board for that because he's dead. Yeah, he passed away. So that information is, that's with him now, in the afterlife. The aliens got him. He knew too much. That's probably what it was. Thanks for the gift sub, Couch. What kind of information do you think was lost in the Library of Alexandria? You don't think the Egyptians had sophisticated tools? Well, hey, what the fuck? I have been firmly on the side of the people back then were still very smart, very resourceful, and actually had a very good understanding of, like, tools and all of that. They had the means at their disposal to make these things. Wait, you're barking up the wrong tree. I'm on your side. Thanks for the resub, Hubie. But as for the Library of Alexandria, God only knows what information was lost in that. They had Stanleys back then. Yeah, they probably fought wars over Stanley Cups back then. I did more research on Sukalos. Motherfucker unironically said Excalibur was an alien laser weapon. That does sound about par for the course. That's the Giorgio Sukalos I've come to know. Archaeology degree checking in. The thing with Puma Punku is simply we have not found the tools they used. Look up Cyclopean masonry. Ancient Greeks and Romans saw these walls of huge, perfectly fit stones and figured, surely only Cyclops could have built this. 1,000 years later, we figured out what tools they used and decided the OG theory was cringe. Well, from what I recall, and it's been years since I bothered digging into Puma Punku, they actually did find the molds for tools they used to carve out the H blocks, and the tools, like the molds, what they were making, would be able to make those cuts. So I don't think there's a lot of mystery left to it, from what I remember. You ever wonder if there was a case that we did see actual proof of alien life but just wrote it off as fake because it looked so unbelievable? I don't think anything that the general public has ever seen was alien, like real alien life. But I do think there's probably been like maybe something through like one of the, like, I don't know, maybe the James Webb Telescope or something that they've seen. It's like, oh, that's like actual alien life that they just haven't published. That's what I think. I don't think there's anything layman like you and I would have seen. Does your dad believe in the Men in Black? If so, what are his thoughts on them? No. The statistics of there not being alien life is unfathomably higher than the statistics of there not being life. The chances of us intersecting is also astronomical. I've said a million times, I firmly, truly believe there's alien life out there. I just don't think it has ever crossed paths with Earth. I really don't think that's happened. Ever. Do you by chance know about the signal that came from space in 1977 that we never really found out where it came from? Oh my god, not the fucking WoW signal again. We're not going down this shit. We're not doing this again. We've already covered the fucking WoW signal. Not again. Next we're gonna get into warp drives or some goofiness. No more. No more. We've barked up that tree plenty. Have you heard of Teotihuacan? It's an ancient city in Mexico that ancient aliens believe is an alien computer. Their proof is that it looks kind of like a circuit board. I'll be the judge of that. I know my way around circuit boards. I'm guessing this one is the most circuit board-esque. Maybe there's a reason why aliens don't visit, like what can they do with a bunch of old dinosaurs? Thanks for some spaghetti. There's just so many different ways you can toss around that thought experiment. I just think faster than light travel is probably just not cracked by any life right now, would be my guess. And even if it was, I don't think they would touch us. They just be no reason to. They wouldn't need anything from us. If they have faster than light travel, we can offer them nothing. Except memes. And OnlyFans, I guess, if they don't have that in their world. Search the Teotihuacan alien computer. It shows a comparison with a real circuit board. I didn't need more convincing. I already bought in, but sure. Those bastards. They hid their circuit board in plain sight. And they thought they'd get away with it. They thought they were slick. Don't show this to your dad. I don't think my dad would believe in that one. Though I wonder if I, like, dressed it up well enough. Like, Dad, you know, we may not see eye to eye on all the pyramids and stuff, but what do you think about Teotihuacan alien computers? And he'd probably hit me with question marks and be like, check this out. I saw this today, and it turns out this entire place is a giant alien circuit board. And I bet he'd be like, I told you! I knew it! I'd maybe just need to put it in the right context. Because I feel like if I just came at him like, what do you think of this? He'd be like, it's kind of baloney. But if I let in like, I'm starting to believe it, he'd probably be like, okay, this might be some good shit. You gotta start making up your own conspiracies to convince him. Hire some artists to create some fake images for you. That's just diabolical. That is something I wanted to do on Facebook. I think it was about 5 years ago. And I was getting pretty serious about it. I was drumming up my own conspiracy, and I was going to hire some artists to start putting together like a lot of material for it, and I was going to start spreading fake conspiracies on Facebook for fun. But I ended up not doing it. There are many planets that look like they can support alien life. What do you think they'd look like? Again, insectoid. I said it yesterday. I think they'd look insectoid. Like, I don't think they'd be fuckable. I don't think they'd be hot. I think they'd just look like bugs. See, Harvard published a study saying aliens may be living on Earth disguised as humans. I saw... It's not like a real thing, though. It's like a theory. But based on actually nothing besides, like, maybe they are. There's membership first. I haven't read the whole thing, though. Just little bits and pieces here. Let me pull it up. Aliens may be living among us disguised as humans, claims Harvard study. Recent Harvard University study has revealed that aliens might be living among us probably underground or on the moon. Please, get this garbage off my screen. The Human Flourishing Program of Harvard University also stated that UFOs might be alien spaceships that are visiting to meet their alien friends living on Earth. Man, this sounds so real. Maybe the aliens come here because they have so many friends that they want to stop by and say hello to. So obviously the most efficient way of doing that is flying all the way across the goddamn universe in order to see their friends in person and say hi. More commonly referred to as UFOs and extraterrestrial beings could be living underground on the moon or even walking among humans. The research also explores the idea that UFOs are unidentified aerial phenomena, UAP. Paper also states that the author is aware of the depth of evidence and theory that also tentatively support another extraterrestrial explanation, the crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, linking UAP activity to the action of hidden non-human entities. Where is the evidence? Or anything grounded at all in reality? This theory claims that aliens might have traveled from the moon or other places to visit the Earth and hidden themselves among us. They traveled from the moon to Earth. Brother, that's like a walk in the scale of the cosmos. We would have seen them do that. Magical crypto-terrestrials. These beings are like earthbound angels having magical rather than technological relationships with humans, like folklore creatures like fairies and elves. Isn't Harvard supposed to be prestigious? Is this in the paper? Or are they just going over all kinds of potential theories? Fairies and elves? The primary weakness of the theory is its perceived oddity, especially for those accustomed to conventional scientific explanations. You mean logic? The primary weakness. As if there's any strengths to it. Other than, like, I want to believe in this, so maybe it's possible. The researchers admitted that their research was likely to be regarded as skeptically by most scientists, but it urged the community to consider their claim in a spirit of epistemic humility and openness. What fucking research? Scrolling through Tumblr? Like, what? Where's the actual paper? Alright, I'm reading the actual paper now. This is ridiculous. Now I've got to see. I did not want to bother reading this paper, but whatever. Oh, here we go. From the Human Flourishing Program. What is this? Okay, let's start here. What is the Harvard Human Flourishing Program? That sounds like MK Ultra, except you're brainwashing college kids into being fucking idiots. The Human Flourishing Program, Harvard University. It's integrating knowledge across disciplines. Knowledge, huh? Fairies and elves. Founded in 2016, the Human Flourishing Program at Harvard aims to study and promote human flourishing. I love that. Please define human flourishing. What does that mean? Like, I'm flourishing by opening magic cards because it fills me with a sense of satisfaction. Would that classify as human flourishing? And to develop systematic approaches to the synthesis of knowledge across disciplines. This is just an absolute nothing statement. That's just buzzword for buzzword's sake. Many topics that are fundamental to human well-being, such as happiness itself, virtue, religious community, meaning, and purpose, have traditionally been viewed as principally falling within the purview of the humanities, often of philosophy or theology. However, robust empirical research literature of these topics is now developed from sociology, political science, economics, education, psychology, medicine, public health, and other empirical sciences. The program's research contributes to the broad question of how knowledge from the quantitative social sciences can be integrated with that of the humanities and questions of human flourishing and how best to carry out the synthesis of knowledge across disciplines. Hopes to bring greater unity to empirical social sciences and humanities. This actually told me nothing. You told me nothing with this. I came into this not knowing what this human flourishing program aimed to do and how, and I'm leaving not knowing what it aims to do or how. Our research. Promotion of flourishing. It sounds like a cult. Promotion of flourishing. The Promotion of Flourishing project seeks to develop and evaluate properties of new measures of human flourishing, drawing upon happiness and life satisfaction, mental and physical health, meaning and purpose, character, virtue, and close social relationships. Alright, so this is the Human Flourishing Program. Your guess is as good as mine. Now, back up. What the fuck do aliens have to do with human flourishing? Magical fairies and elves? How does that fall into this department? The crypto-terrestrial hypothesis, a case for scientific openness to a concealed earthly explanation for unidentified anomalous phenomena. Thank you. Yeah, this is the one. Then we explore over 5 sections Limits to historical and geological knowledge, traces of lost civilization, traces of underground civilization, traditions around magical cryptoterrestrials, and UAP-related activity considerations. And UAP-related activity underground, underwater, and nearby, i.e., the moon. We conclude by noting that across these various considerations are actually 4 distinct CTH, whose merits we briefly consider. We recognize these CTHs may rightly be regarded skeptically by most scientists, but argue they nevertheless should not be ruled out and deserve consideration in a spirit of... But, okay, let me see. There better be some fucking banger evidence. Show me some evidence about the magical fairies being aliens or whatever. It's all just complete fucking speculation, based on nothing. The ideas canvassed thus far, while not generally accepted by contemporary natural science paradigms, nevertheless still fit somewhat within their rough boundaries. Aliens on the ocean floor or subterranean hominids would be highly surprising, but not genuinely metaphysically revisionary in any strong sense, and essentially just involve extrapolating from activities in which we humans already undeniably engage, from flying spacecraft to living in caves. What? This is nothing. It's just straight up nothing. We can't rule out the possibility that there are some magical cryptoterrestrials on the ocean floor. I mean, I fucking guess. I guess. Just like we can't rule out the possibility I shit my pants in the next 5 minutes. Like, it's super possible. Like, I could. I don't think I will. Like, I'm very confident I won't. But I guess we can't fully rule it out. It's just a statement that means nothing. Oh my god. Future human time travelers was just dropped in here with a source there. We're talking about fucking John Teeter again? Fucking time travelers and interdimensional beings? Is there warp drives in the paper? You know what? I'm going to control F warp drive. No. No warp drives, but there are Russian warplanes engaged with UFOs. Oh god, if warp drives came up, I would have blown a gasket. There, I'm not gonna just keep fishing through this. How odd. How odd. This dude's paper seems like it's his D&D campaign notes. So fucking true. Yeah. We need a deeper dive. A red thread. On that one Harvard paper. I have to... So... One thing I learned is that you can kind of publish anything. Well, not you as like just some random goober, but things will just get published without actually being fully peer-reviewed. So it doesn't necessarily constitute like real legitimate backing. You can kind of just do it. It's that time again where I start gushing about aliens. It's one of my favorite topics to discuss. It's the one I get most heated about on stream and have the most absurd conversations with chat on stream about. And yesterday, there was a massive UAP congressional hearing that had some very well-established individuals, some very high-ranking individuals that were making testimonies under oath about UAPs and government divisions, as well as general information about things relating to UAPs and the government. It's all very interesting, especially because it's coming from people who have real merit here. It's like substantial credibility for the individuals that have come forward under oath to speak on these things. It's not like they just grabbed random nobodies, right? They didn't go out there and find Geronimo Sloppenheim, who goes to the congressional hearing talking about how the green guys from space probed his chocolate starfish. This is very buttoned up people that have come forward to talk about these things and blow the whistle on UAP departments, even talking about how some people were injured during UAP retrieval programs, and it is fascinating. I haven't had the chance to talk to my father about all of this, whom all of you know is the preeminent expert on anything extraterrestrial. He is the world's best when it comes to anything alien related. I'm sure right now he's hunkered down, you know, doodling away, crunching numbers, theorizing things, all from these new testimonials that have come forward. But I think it's important to note that they don't present any, like, physical evidence. The evidence that gets presented here about the UAPs and everything is testimonial, which is real evidence, but I don't want anyone coming into this expecting them to wheel out the corpse of the fucking Martian Manhunter or something, or have like an alien smoking a cigarette talking about his time in deep space and his journey to get to Earth. That doesn't happen. Instead, they are talking about departments and different things that have been going on for a while in regards to non-human crafts. And one of the biggest ones is about the Immaculate Constellation program, which is now fully available for anyone to go out there and read, which I think is a very cool thing to do. And also there was this moment. Now I learned about it on stream last night, so I didn't get to do a huge deep dive on stream, but this morning I spent quite a bit of time going over a lot of like the big moments, and this one really stood out to me.
Has there been any, to your knowledge, any communication with a non-human life form?
So the term communication is a bit of a trick word because there's verbal communication like we're having now. The problem is you also have nonverbal communication. And so I would say definitively yes, but from a nonverbal meaning, when a Russian reconnaissance aircraft comes into U.S. airspace, we scramble two F-22s, and we are certainly communicating intent and capability. I think the same goes with this. We have these things that are being observed over controlled U.S. airspace, and they're not really doing a good job hiding themselves. They're making it pretty obvious they have the ability to even interfere with our nuclear equities and our nuclear readiness.
That's pretty big, considering this is all under oath. And this is someone who was once a counterintelligence operative for the government. Like, this isn't just some random, fucking weirdo in their basement who's locked themselves away feeding into delusions. This is someone that did have a pretty powerful position, at least as I understand it, and many others who came forward here, the same. They all had positions that have real merit for what they're talking about. So it is a big deal to have these testimonials. Now, as I discussed on stream, I still believe aliens are absolutely out there in the universe. Those slimy weasels, I know they're out there having a hoot and a holler, but I truly, sincerely do not believe they have ever been to this little fucking space rock. I just don't. I just think it is so unbelievably unlikely, and if they ever did visit us, we would never know because their technology would be so far beyond our comprehension, and there's no way we'd be able to actually even see it at any point, let alone retrieve some kind of crash. Like, the odds of them crashing in here, there's a higher chance that I get a growth spurt in my 30s. Like, it's just so unlikely. Now, I don't believe anyone during the congressional hearing was lying under oath. Absolutely not. I have no doubt that everyone that was testifying and giving their statements was being 100% truthful. I believe all the departments are real departments. I believe all the programs are real programs, all of that they spoke about. I believe in this case, they believe that there was a real nonverbal communication with a non-human entity. But there's no physical evidence that was presented. There's nothing that was presented that convinces me that, oh, it really was aliens. I know they're being truthful, like I'm very confident in that, but that doesn't mean that it's absolutely aliens. For example, this statement about like definitively, yes, we have had nonverbal communication with non-human entities. Well, we also thought that back in the 70s with the WOW signal. And there's still a lot of people who believe the WOW signal is irrefutable proof of intelligent life out there, but I just think there's more evidence to suggest that it isn't. There's a lot of other explanations for what the WOW signal really is. Like, just because he believes that there was 100% definitive communication with a non-human entity doesn't mean that that's what it was. There could be something else to explain it. And since we weren't presented with any of what that is, it's now just, okay, I guess I have to assume it was aliens because he believes it's aliens, It's just hard to get me to 100% say, like, yes, it's aliens. I desperately want to. I would be extremely happy to be proven wrong about my take that aliens have never visited us. But at the moment, there just still isn't that proof that gets me there and convinces me of that. But hopefully this is the start of more and more conversations and more information about UAPs and the government's involvement with UAP programs and departments. Maybe we can get some more declassified information and evidence of anything of non-human origin. That would be extremely exciting. If that information and that content exists, I would love for that to start being shared, and this seems like a good step in that direction if all of it truly is of non-human origin. So hopefully this is just the first of many UAP breakthroughs. Did you watch the UAP Congress hearing today? Apparently it was earth-shattering. The UAP thing was today? I'll definitely take a peek. I feel like if this actually was groundbreaking, my dad would have called me ASAP with a big "I told you so."
Live for us on Capitol Hill. Joe, you were in the room for that more than 2-hour hearing. What did you learn?
Aliens are real. You won't believe it. And they want to suck my dick right now.
If these technologies are not made by any government, who's making them? Private companies, or are you implying they are crafted by a non-human intelligence?
No, my buddy Eric makes them in his
That's
garage.
precisely why we're here. The problem is that, temporally speaking, over decades, not just the last 10 years, to put this in perspective,
Are these private companies you're implying, or is this non-human intelligence?
it may be both.
Okay.
When it comes to Blue Force technology,
What? Maybe both. Like they're working together, or like there's different UAPs? I don't think they could both be true, right? They're private company aliens. Oh, of course, yeah. What's next? You gonna tell me the aliens unionized or something? Yeah, whatever. Man, I wish they just had 3 titties.
to discuss.
Okay. Are you read into secret UAP crash retrieval programs?
We would have to have a conversation in a closed session, ma'am. I signed documentation 3 years ago that restricts my ability to discuss specifically crash retrievals.
It's like the Suicide Squad. They got like that thing in their neck gonna blow his head off if he talks about it.
And what is in the book is what I was told I'm allowed to talk about.
Has the government conducted secret UAP crash retrieval programs, yes or no?
Yes.
That's not, well, that doesn't necessarily mean they were successful. That just means they might have seen something and then tried to go get it and reclaim it, believing that it could be a UAP. And then what they found could have very well been just my buddy Eric's man-made doohickey. But that would be cool if they have retrieved some.
Were they designed to identify and reverse engineer alien craft, yes or no?
Yes.
So those 2 yeses right there at the end, very important there. Now, just shortly after that hearing, that was Congresswoman Nancy Mace sharing.
I mean, it's cool to hear, but that's not surprising. I don't think aliens have ever visited Earth. I've made that very clear. I know aliens are out there. I think it's unlikely that we're the only intelligent life. I just don't think they've ever been here. I truly don't. But it's not surprising me to hear, like, I'm assuming it's true because he's under oath, that they had like a program to go retrieve it and try and like reverse engineer it. That doesn't mean that it ever found or produced anything, right? Like, I've had times where I've gone out trying to get laid. I didn't get laid. Shit, I didn't meet anybody. You know? Like, it's you know, you can have those plans, you can try and do those things. It doesn't necessarily mean that it worked. But I think the question should be, have they ever retrieved anything of extraterrestrial origin? Because you can have a department dedicated to reverse engineering it if it's ever retrieved. The question should really just be, have we ever actually gotten anything of extraterrestrial origin? That's what I want an answer to. And some evidence of.
Yes.
See, that's not confirmation they ever got one. Again, that is a program that would aim to retrieve them, if there was any. Like, I feel like there's millions, like, we have a fucking Space Defense Force program, right? They haven't fought off any alien invaders, I'll tell you right now. Apparently, the biggest bombshell during this hearing was documents regarding the Immaculate Constellation program, which is a secret UFO retrieval program the Pentagon is running. They just released them online for everyone to read. Ooh. United States Department of Defense and the intelligence community are withholding information about anomalous phenomena from Congress. It's a testimony from Michael Schellenberger. I do believe we probably have plenty of programs for that. Like, there's no way this guy's lying, not under oath. No shot. I definitely do think there are programs for, like, retrieval of UAPs or, like, any kind of investigation into it, reverse engineering if they ever find one. I just don't think it's ever happened. I don't think there's ever been a alien spacecraft that has ended up here. You don't think UFOs exist at all? I think it is so unbelievably, like, main character syndrome type shit to think that somehow aliens, if they have faster than light travel or wormhole traveling capabilities, would somehow just crash on our fucking tiny little planet. That would be so unbelievably unlikely because it's incomprehensible to us the technology that they would already have in order to even make it this far. Like, that's so unlikely. And for us to catch a glimpse of them is even more unlikely. If they made it here and we'd somehow see them in a fucking Tic Tac, that's unbelievably unlikely. So the witness is lying? Brother, how many times I gotta say it? No, I don't think they're lying at all. They're talking about programs. I have no doubt these programs exist. Just like we have our Space Defense Force program. But we're not defending the Earth from anything right now. We're not fighting off the fucking Tyranids out there with the space defense program America's got. They exist, I have no doubt. I have no doubt about it. They're definitely not lying. Tic Tac video, probably the most credible we have. Yep, that and the other one from the ship. Those are the two UAP videos that have the least amount of explanation for. What do you think about the theory that aliens created us and are coming now because we're close to ending ourselves? What? I think that's a theory that's based on nothing but someone who really likes anime. If life is found on other moons in our solar system, would people finally stop thinking we are special and we're literally the point of the universe? So for the longest time, I always thought if aliens ever visit us, if aliens ever have visited us and we finally reveal it, I always thought there'd be like a unifying moment, because in pretty much every sci-fi property ever, when people speak of humanity or Earth, it's always like one united front of humans. And I always thought if aliens were discovered, that would be that unifying moment where like everyone on Earth comes together. And now I'm 100% sure that would never fucking happen at all. That would just never happen. That just caused so much fucking chaos now. We'd take their oil. Yeah. Man, we would butt fuck them so hard if we could. How disappointed would you be if aliens just looked like humans but with pointy ears or glowing eyes? There is not a single alien design that would actually disappoint me. The only one that would disappoint me is if aliens looked like what that researcher said dudes are going to look like from gaming in 20 years. If they looked like this, then I'd be mad. But anything shy of this, I'm going to be blown away. I'm going to be so happy.
I'm very convinced that Jake Barber is a...
That guy actually has a voice that sounds like AI. I thought I clicked on one of those AI slop channels.
And it's quite clear everyone's taking his information very seriously. The big question is anybody going to do anything about it?
Yeah, we're going to go to war with the aliens. The alien subreddit is already clowning on this. The evidence is a chicken egg. Man, you made me think this was real. What? You're telling me this guy's evidence of aliens is a chicken egg? Oh yeah, you're right. The subreddit is clowning on him in a big way. Where can I see the evidence that he submitted? Where is it? Where is just like the video itself? Wait, these are the actual photos? These aren't memes? No, that's definitely a meme. I want to see the actual evidence that he submitted. Is it? You're telling me this is it? This isn't a joke? Oh my god, you're right.
NewsNation has independently obtained
No, it looks like he's taking this very seriously. How have we gotten this stupid? The NewsNation UFO sling clip looks fine to me. It seems like classic sling load system used in underslung operations. Just thought I'd share. Brother. I'm gonna grab you by the shoulders here and shake you back to reality. I gotta wake you up from this dream you're in. That's not real footage of an egg-shaped UFO. That's footage of egg in a duct tape. Man, now I sound like a fucking moron. It's a video of an egg wrapped in duct tape. Weather balloon. Why wouldn't aliens have Why wouldn't aliens have egg-shaped ships? Saiyans have ball-shaped ones. Checkmate. You're fucking right. Kakarot's in that egg. No, this is a real news story. I am just as surprised as you are. When I first looked it up at the beginning of the stream, I thought it was a joke. So I kept missing the actual video, the actual footage, because I thought it was someone just clowning on it. They are running this as if it is 100% legitimate. Here, I already got the subreddit open. Someone actually just recreated it almost one-to-one. The only difference is they didn't use duct tape, they just fucking strapped a band-aid on it. It's just an egg over carpet. That's it. And this guy didn't have, like, night vision. He just he had a green filter. No way people believe that. Pretty much nobody does. Not even this subreddit. Like, the subreddit is making fun of it in a big way. I don't think there's a single person in the planet that would see that and be like, holy shit. This is eye-opening stuff. This is the most Reddit thing I've read in a while. I just got lost in this pretentiousness. Apparently everyone has had the exact same response to the News Nation special report, which is to post their disappointment and ridicule as to the footage that was released. The effect is to render laughable any opinion contrary to the fire hose of insults that followed the airing of this segment. But that effect is neutralized as soon as the mechanism behind it is illuminated. The driving force behind this tsunami of bad faith reactions is a coordinated ridicule campaign. It's the same tactic used by government Fife Symington following the Phoenix Lights incident. It's the same tactic used against Pulitzer Prize winner John Mack of Harvard when he dedicated his career to interviewing abductees. In the light of history, it is obvious that ridicule is the only real tool available to architects of the UFO cover-up, which has hidden the very nature of reality from taxpayers for the better part of the last century. You are free to consider the question of non-human intelligence without fear of any real and meaningful damage to your reputation or mental health. Ridicule campaigns like the one currently consuming the sub have failed, and recent polls suggest the public is keenly aware that non-human intelligence exists and has been interacting with humanity for a very long time. As the great Bobby McFerrin once said, "Don't worry, be happy." We're not alone in this existence, and that knowledge is more joyful and curious than it is fearful by a mile. Enjoy it. Updoots for you, sir. I tip my fedora, gentle sir. Reddit Platinum. Brother, it's a fucking egg. It's an egg. It's not actual footage of an alien or a UAP whistleblower. There's been so much actual credible evidence that has come out, you don't need to defend all of it now. This is hooey. It's fucking barnacles. I'm just a regular-ass stay-at-home dad that follows this stuff. I have no skin in the game, and I'm certainly not working for the government. That video was cool, I guess. Man, how is it cool?
One of the clearest images.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I've heard a lot of helicopters. Like, that doesn't even really sound like a helicopter. That sounds like a fucking lawnmower that they put like a stock propeller sound effect to. Nothing works here. It's a fucking egg. It's like a fishing rod and it's carpet. That's clearly carpet.
Let's freeze frame here to look at one of the clearest images of a UAP ever taken. This is no
so
blurry light in a distant sky.
You know what? I'm changing my tune. I agree with this guy. That video is cool, I guess. As I posted elsewhere, the real info wasn't the photo of the egg. It was the guy's testimony about coming into psychic contact with something and the illness suffered by himself and the other men in the crew. For some reason, that's being completely ignored by everyone in favor of just ridiculing the egg. Proof will never come in the form of photos or videos. They're too easy to fake now. Testimonials are all we have along with our own potential experiences. Yeah, you can't fake testimonials. Those are bulletproof. Did I ever tell you guys about the time I psychically connected with Ariana Grande and she gave me a lap dance in Fortnite once? You aren't being fair to the egg. We need an expert. Call your dad right now. Let me see if he's awake. I'm gonna send him this egg real quick. Give me a second. It's midnight, so they might be asleep. He might believe it. Nah, there hasn't been like anything recently my dad's believed in for the alien stuff. He believes in like the actual, like, some of it's very far-fetched, but like in terms of recent evidence that comes out, he believes in like the actual like footage from, you know, the pilots, the one from the ship, that kind of stuff. Like the ones that are actually interesting and have real merit. This, I think he's just going to think I'm making fun of him. Crazy UFO sighting in Colombia just dropped on r/UFOs. Let me see. Oh, right here, I see it. Those dirty bastards. Oh, they're very small. Very tiny little aliens. Go talk to them. I want to meet them. Knock on their door. Holy fuck. I always knew it. What? This would be a lot of effort for a prank, especially in what appears to be a rural, low-income country. A lot of effort for a prank? Get out of town! The picture at the end is pretty wild. This is so sad. This is just so fucking sad. I thought for sure the Redditors would not be believing in this. No, but usually r/UFOs is a little more sensible than that. Hope this is real, but I'm dubious. Hope this is, but I'm dubious? You're dubious. If that isn't the most it insists upon itself shit I've ever read. Oh, shit. The witness reported suffering nausea, dizziness, and severe headache after handling the object. Symptoms that forced him to seek medical attention and undergo various clinical examinations. Though the origin and nature of the artifact remain unknown, the man insists his experience was real and has clear photographs showing him holding the mysterious object. Where's the object now? Did it vanish? Like a thief into the night. It came all this way. Survived entry into the atmosphere just to land in a bush. Not only that, and then to end up on this guy's bedside. Those aliens weren't expecting that. That nipple means business. And now they know who the boss is. Your skepticism is dubious. I suppose it may be a tad doob, but I'm just not convinced. Is this post actually doing numbers right now? Is this actually circulating? You know, I'm just gonna look at it myself. I would actually be surprised if this one started getting traction. Like the News Nation egg, I could see why some people would believe in that, because it's an egg in night vision. They'd probably be like, that could be a fucking alien. Like, okay, fair enough, but no way this one, right? It's not exactly blowing up on Twitter, but I do see this one, which has some people debating the authenticity. And then one guy's really passionate. He says, "For fuck's sake, seriously? This looks pretty bloody convincing. And is it the too good to be true category? Where is the orb now?" That's a real person, by the way. That guy exists on this planet with you and me. Wait, what is this? This just came up when I was looking at this orb. Is there multiple orbs? Is this not new? Manchester Airport UFO recreated. 3D models have been created of the orb UFO that was recently sighted and captured at Manchester Airport, UK. Oh my god, there was another orb! Ah! It was a Pokeball, damn it! What is that, an Ultra Ball? Holy shit. It's 343 Guilty Spark. That's even more serious than I thought. Pilot films clearest UFO landing at Manchester Airport, but then suddenly vanishes.
And recording a silver orb-shaped UFO origins and the lengths to which officials might go to keep such sightings under wraps. The pilot's detailed account...
Not very hard. They clearly didn't go to such extreme lengths. It's on Twitter. Hasn't been taken down.
Mysterious suspension of his social media accounts after sharing the footage in an area adjacent to the tarmac. The object was about the size of a small car. And
I made that same marble in Maya when I was in college, when I was still a digital arts major before switching to exercise physiology. This is like one of the first 3D models they have you do because it works with texture. But that doesn't mean that it can't be little bastards in there from outer space. They wanted to observe the airport. See what our aviation looks like.
The plot thickened when, just hours after posting the sighting on Twitter, Bigelow's account was suspended without explanation.
The cover-up!
Undeterred,
the cover-up!
He turned to Reddit to share his experience and engage with the UFO community, only to have his Reddit account similarly taken down shortly.
Oh my god, it goes too deep.
These actions have fueled widespread speculation of a deliberate attempt to suppress information about the sighting.
I always love that shit. That's always so good. That's how you really have to sell it to them. And then everything was suppressed. Except for every video ever and every person ever talking about it, including a 2 million subscriber YouTube channel. They didn't find this one somehow. It's hilarious that even when one lands and sits at ground level at an airport only a few hundred yards away, it's still blurry and out of focus in a world filled with 4K megapixel camera phones. That's part of the alien technology. It blurs it. This is compelling. I wasn't sold on the Columbia sphere. But this one? Whoops. This one? Jesus. I'll eventually click the right tab. That one's got teeth. Florida! No, they're here! God damn it!
Oh, there it is.
Fucking pinball in the sky! No! How much time is left? The aliens are everywhere. All at once. Yeah, take a good look at this video. It'll be off the internet by tomorrow. They're going to suppress it. Oh yeah, here's the Columbia sphere. How is it looking It's crazy. It's just so crazy. Oh my god, another orb. This one followed the plane. Orb!
Hey guys, welcome back. This is Scott. Now this is something I discovered from a friend on Facebook, and
more like a friend something you discovered from a friend on Adobe After Effects. What the fuck is this, man? You've got to do better than that. Come on, man. Miraculous Jesus figure in forest fire. Sacred heart revealed. AI enhanced image. This channel is awesome. If I may, why would Jesus put his figure in fire? Like, I feel like that'd be the antithesis of how Jesus would want people to perceive an image of him. Fire and flames is associated with hell. This would be more akin to like a plot from Lucifer.
This is corrected by AI. Before AI on the left, after AI on the right. Look at the detail. AI on the right, normal on the left. This is...
How is that Jesus?
Look at the difference.
Since when is Jesus fucking the evil dad from Codename Kids Next Door? How the fuck? And what is he doing? This looks more like a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
And does it look like anything familiar to you? Anything you've ever seen in your entire life?
No.
Have you ever seen this before?
Absolutely not.
Because I think you have.
I don't.
Hit that
you'd
like
be
and
wrong.
subscribe button. Helps me out so much. Thank you. The Burning Man, for real, creator of Jesus. And look at this. The burning person also has a similar heart in the same place.
I jumped the gun. There's Jesus. There. Burning alive. In a forest fire. Just the way he wanted us to perceive him, I suppose. What a compelling argument.
Exactly like the burning
this just reminded me of something. I saw this floating around earlier. Matt sent it to me. You guys remember that post on Facebook with me as Jesus, and a lot of Facebook moms really thought that it's a picture of Jesus? Apparently a post on Reddit got kind of popular because their grandma also has that same photo on their like mantle, and that shit goes crazy. Are you honored? I think that's very sweet. If it brings her comfort, I don't mind being on her mantle watching over her, wishing her well on her daily routine. No, this isn't the exact same one that I covered last time. This is the one from the Moist Wrestling League, and then got big on Facebook. The other one was this. The Share If You Love Jesus. But the original didn't have like the halo in it or anything, so it was more convincing to the Facebook audience or some shit, I guess. I'll have to keep my eyes peeled on this channel. They're breaking ground on all the latest. Apparently there was a rabbit on Mars. Fucking Peter Cottontail went cosmic.
And fast forward so you can see this object, and it looks like it's in cone shape. I mean, I've never seen a module or a Russian module in this shape. It doesn't look like...
Neither have I, but I have seen this shape in a snack called Bugles. Any connection? Food for thought. That was eye-opening stuff. That was interesting.